going? This is another installment of Rob's Vegetable Garden, and I just want to show you what we're doing today. We're doing some preserves. Come over here, John. We bought some tomatoes. Can you see all those tomatoes there? We bought these. Our bushes didn't do that well, so we had to buy them so that we could do our preserve. But they nice quality looking tomato. They look really, really nice and healthy, chunky, not too soft, not too hard. And then we've got jars. These are just old Dolmio jars. This one with the packet on, the old Dolmio jar, and we just clean them up and use them again. They reseal quite nicely. And over here is where we've got some tomatoes. We've got basil. This is all from our garden. Quite a nice lot of basil leaves, and we're just going to be using them in the preserve. And I'm just going to show you how we do it. So we take a Dolmio jar. We've already washed them. We've just rinsed them again, but with boiling hot water, so they're ready to go. Come back over here, Johnny. Now what you do is you take a tablespoon of sugar, about that much, into the bottom of the jar. We've already got a tomato here, but I'll show you from this point. We cut out the centre of the tomato, of course. And then you cut them in half that way, and then 3 ways. Sorry, yeah, 3 ways that way, whatever. Anyway, we put them in the jar. Pretty easy so far. Rocket science. And I'll put a little bit more. This was one I had before. Using a wooden spoon, pack it down in the jar until everything's sort of flattened out. So this is pieces. This is not sauce. I actually prefer pieces better than the sauce, because then your pasta turns out nice and chunky. Now I'm just using some salt, fairly generous because salt brings out flavour. And then I grab a basil leaf, clip off the endy bit, shove it in there, and that's one layer. You see how much is there? About that much. And then you do the same process again. And you do that layer by layer up the jar until we've got about 4 layers in the jar, finishing again with just salt and basil. So it's sugar at the bottom, tomatoes, salt, basil, tomatoes, salt, basil, all the way to the top. Now at the end your jar will look like that. There's the basil, and you can see, even if I open this, because this hasn't been cooked yet, with the basil shoved in at the top. And then when it's cooked, it comes up like that. And when you open these and you smell them, they smell unbelievable because of the basil and everything that you put through it. So there's Rob's Vegetable Garden today on how to preserve tomatoes. Oh, by the way, just before I finish, you also need one of these, which has got like a flip top in it, or bottom, flip bottom. And the reason is because that keeps it from being on the hot metal, and it's got little air holes in it. So the bubbles blow out of there, and then the water gets warm, but it doesn't cook on the metal and blow up your jars. And I can get about 10 in there at a time. We've got a nice big oven here. Have a look at the oven, the hot plate. It's like a large oven plate with a big gas element in the middle, and that fits on there perfectly. And I cook them for around 2 hours on a nice constant bubble. So there you go. Bless you. Have a good one. Rob's Vegetable Garden. Hi again everyone, this is Rob's Vegetable Garden. I'm just showing you the preserves that we ended up preserving yesterday, and there they all are, cooked about 1.5 to 2 hours cooked each preserve. And let's just look at the layers of that. Oops, get it back and zoom out of it. You can see there's a lot of basil in there. We've really packed this with basil. That's actually right there, as you can see, that's 30 kilos of tomatoes that I had to actually buy because our plants weren't producing enough. We bought them for $7 per 10 kilos, so it cost $21 for us to preserve all of those. So it's not too bad in value. Anyway, have a great one, and I'll see you on the next Rob's Vegetable Garden. Cheers.